Hello everyone. Today we will learn about chapter Sexual Reproduction in Flowering Plants, which is chapter number 2 in 12th class biology book. In today's video, we will learn about plant, its reproductive structure of flower, and then how the male gametes and female gametes are formed in the plant body, that is microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis, pre-fertilization events which take place in plants, and type of pollination. Let's start it. Plants. Plants reproduce sexually as well as asexually. Asexually, plant reproduce by vegetative propagation, and sexually by the fusion of gametes. There is formation of male and female gametes which will fuse, undergo fertilization and result in formation of embryo, zygote, embryo and then seed. The flower, being the reproductive organ of the plant, it plays very important role in sexual reproduction. The parts of flower are sepals, petals, stamens and carpels. Sepals, which are green structures and protect the inner parts when the flower is in the bud stage. Petals are the colorful part and it attracts the insects for pollination. And the reproductive parts which are present in flower are stamen and carpels. Stamen are male reproductive part, and stamen is male reproductive part and carpel is female reproductive part. Now here the structure of flower is shown to you. Flower consists of a stalk is pedicel over here, which holds the flower. Then there is thalamus, which is the swollen part. This receptacle is representing the thalamus, which is a swollen upper portion of the stalk. Then there are colored parts of flower which are known as petals, and these attract insects. Then here you can see green leaves known as sepals which ensure protection, and male part which is stamen and female reproductive part which is carpel. Stamen consists of anther and filament, and carpel consists of stigma, style, ovary and ovules. Now next, 4 types of whorls are found in their flower. There are 4 types of whorls. First whorl is calyx, other whorl is corolla, third is gynoecium and fourth is androecium. What is calyx? Calyx is the outermost whorl जो सेपल का पूरा घेरा है फ्लावर के चारों तरफ. That is known as calyx. It is the outermost whorl and members of it are known as sepals. These are green colored and protect the bud, and this bud will later on develop into flower. The next whorl is corolla, which is after calyx, and this is the bright colored part, and its members are known as petals, and these attract insects for pollination. Now out of the 4 whorls, calyx we have done, corolla we have done. Now next is androecium, which is the inner whorl next to corolla, and androecium represent the male reproductive system whorl, and its members are known as stamens. Next is gynoecium, which is the innermost whorl. Its members are known as carpels, and these are representing the female reproductive organs. Now events which take place in sexual reproduction in plants are pre-fertilization events like gametogenesis and pollination. Gametogenesis is formation of gametes as shown over here in this flowchart. Gametogenesis, and then there is gamete transfer. फर्टिलाइजेशन से पहले जो इवेंट्स होते हैं. फर्स्ट इज गैमीट फॉर्मेशन इन द प्लांट बॉडी. मेल गैमीट एंड फीमेल गैमीट्स विल बी फॉर्म्ड. नेक्स्ट इज गैमीट ट्रांसफर, एंड गैमीट ट्रांसफर टेक प्लेस बाय द प्रोसेस ऑफ पॉलिनेशन. Then after pre-fertilization events, there will be fertilization, and fertilization involves syngamy, which is fusion of gametes. There is double fertilization and triple fusion, and it results in formation of diploid zygote. Then after fertilization, the events which take place are known as post-fertilization events, which involve zygote formation, embryogenesis and seed formation. Now pre-fertilization events. Pre-fertilization events are those events which take place before fertilization in plants, and these include gametogenesis and gamete transfer. Here you can see in this diagram pre-fertilization events. What is gametogenesis? Gametogenesis is development of male and female reproductive structures and formation of male and female gametes. What is gamete transfer? Gametes are transferred by the process of pollination, and it facilitates pollination is a process by which pollen from anther of the stamen will transfer to the stigma of the carpel, and this therefore facilitate the gamete transfer. Now next is male reproductive structure in flower. In flower, male reproductive structure is known as stamen, and stamen consists of filament and anther. Filament is a stalk which bear anther. Here you can see this stalk is known as filament, and the upper part is anther, which is bilobed ditheca structure found at the tip of the filament. Each lobe of the anther has two pollen sacs known as, here you can see this is the one lobe, this one is the second lobe. In each lobe there are two pollen sacs, and these pollen sacs are also known as microsporangium. Here it is written pollen sacs, and these are also known as microsporangia. Microsporangia is the plural term and microsporangium is the singular term. In total, anther में बेटे total microsporangia कितने हैं? 4. Here you can see 2 pollen sac in one lobe and 2 pollen sacs in second lobe. The total microsporangia are 4. Each microsporangia produce spores which will later on develop into pollen grains. Now next is structure of microsporangium. Microsporangium, there are 4 layers surrounding the microsporangium. One is epidermis, other one is endothecium, next is middle layers, next tapetum. Here you can see in the diagram, this is the bilobed anther whose a sectional cut is shown over here. The outer layer of it is known as epidermis, inner is endothecium, then middle layers, and then tapetum, and then there are sporogenous tissues. The first 3 layers, that is epidermis, endothecium and middle layers, these are the protective layers, and while the tapetum layer provide nourishment to the developing pollen grains. Sporogenous tissues is present at the center of each microsporangium. Here the diagram of bilobed anther is again shown to you. Here you can see the section of bilobed anther. This one is section of bilobed anther, and this part is highlighted over here. These layers are shown to you. Outer layer epidermis, inner layer endothecium, then middle layers are there, then tapetum is there, and then sporogenous tissue which contain microspore mother cells. And these microspore mother cells will develop to form microspores and pollen grains. Now what is microsporogenesis? The process by which microspores are formed inside the flower, specifically in the stamen part. And microspores are formed inside the microsporangium. Sporogenous cells, they will differentiate to form meiocytes, microspore mother cells, या फिर हम इससे क्या बोलते हैं, meiocytes. Meiocytes will undergo meiosis and 4 haploid microspores are formed. ये मियोसाइट है, इसमें बेटे meiosis हुई तो 4 haploid microspore tetrad which is shown over here is formed. These microspores dissociate and develop to form pollen grains, and these pollen grains will result in formation of these are representing the male gametophytes, and these result in formation of male gametes. Now structure of pollen grain. Each pollen grain is a tiny spherical structure surrounded by 2 layers, that is exine, which is the hard outermost layer, composed of sporopollenin, and this layer is highly resistant, whereas inner layer is intine. It is composed of cellulose and pectin. Here you can see exine, intine. Now next is formation of pollen grain from the microspore. How it take place? It involves following changes. First, the microspore will expand there is formation of large vacuole. The microspore nucleus displaced to the eccentric position against microspore wall. Nucleus undergo first pollen mitosis. A large vegetative cell and a small generative cell are formed, and this is the two-cell stage. In many plants, pollen grains are released at the two-cell stage, but in some they are released at the three-cell stage. In three-cell stage, the generative cell will divide to form two male gametes. Now, generative cell will detaches from the pollen grain wall. Generative cell is engulfed by the vegetative cell. Cell within a cell structure is formed, and this generative cell will undergo mitosis. Two sperm cells are formed enclosed within the vegetative cell cytoplasm. Now, what are the characteristics of these vegetative and generative cell? Here you can see in the diagram. This diagram is of microspore, which is turning into the mature pollen grains. Here two vacuoles and one nucleus is there. Asymmetric spindle is there, which result in formation of large vegetative cell containing stored food and small generative cell. और अगर पोलन ग्रेन इस स्टेज पे रिलीज हो जाता है, देन इट इज़ द टू सेल्ड स्टेज. बट अगर बेटे जनरेटिव सेल फर्दर डिवाइड करके दो मेल गेमीट बना देता है और एक वेजिटेटिव सेल है, तो ये टोटल कितने बन गए? थ्री सेल्ड स्टेज. नाउ व्हाट आर द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ दीज वेजिटेटिव एंड जनरेटिव सेल्स? Vegetative cell is bigger in size, whereas generative cell is smaller in size. Vegetative cell has an irregularly shaped nucleus. Generative cell has a spindle-shaped nucleus with a dense cytoplasm. Vegetative cell, also known as tube cell because it is responsible for the growth of pollen tube, and generative cell floats in the cytoplasm of the vegetative cell. Now, what is the use of these pollen grains? Pollen grains are responsible for the continuation of generation because they are representing the male gamete and they are rich in nutrients. But some people are allergic to the pollen grain dust, and therefore pollen grain can cause respiratory disorders or can cause pollen allergy. Then these all pollen grains can be stored for longer period of time in liquid nitrogen whose temperature is minus 196 degrees Celsius, and thus can be this process is known as cryopreservation. And pollen grains can be cryopreserved in pollen banks, in seed banks, and these help in later on these can be used for the crop breeding programs. Therefore, pollen grains help in crop breeding programs. Now next is female reproductive structure in flower. Female reproductive structure in flower consists of ovary, which is the basal part of the carpel, ovarian cavity now termed as locule, encloses ovule in it, and ovules are attached to cushion-like structure known as placenta. Then there is style. ओवरी के ऊपर चल रहे हैं हम, नीचे से ऊपर की तरफ जा रहे हैं. ओवरी which contains ovule. Then there is a stalk-like structure known as style, which is tube-like structure which connect the ovary with the stigma. And this upper part, swollen part, is known as stigma, which is exposed end of the style, and this acts as a receptive surface for receiving the pollen grains. Here you can see in the ovary there is ovule, and the structure of ovule over here. This region is known as nucellus. The central part is the embryo sac, which contain two polar nuclei, and here these are the three antipodal cells. These are the three antipodal cells, and these three cells are representing, the central one is egg cell and the two on the sides are known as synergids. This layer is known as integument. Now, female gametophyte or embryo sac is formed by the process of megasporogenesis. पोलन ग्रेन माइक्रोस्पोरोजेनेसिस से बना था और माइक्रोस्पोरेंजियम के अंदर बना था. अब फीमेल गमीज मेगास्पोरोजेनेसिस से बन रहा है और ये मेगास्पोरेंजियम के अंदर बन रहा है. मेगास्पोरेंजियम और ओव्यूल इज द स्ट्रक्चर इनसाइड द ओवरी वेयर मेगास्पोर्स फॉर्मेशन टेक प्लेस. The internal structure of ovule consists of funicle, the stalk which attach the ovule to प्लेसेंटा. इन ह्यूमन बींग्स आपने अम्बिलिकल कोड सुना है कि मदर वूम के अंदर जो डेवलपिंग एम्ब्रियो है दैट इज अटैच्ड विद द अम्बिलिकल कोड. तो यहाँ पर फ्यूनिकल है. इन केस ऑफ प्लांट्स ओव्यूल इज अटैच्ड टू द प्लेसेंटा बाय फ्यूनिकल. Then hilum, which is the junction between ovum and funicle. Then integuments, one or many protective envelopes around ovule, and micropyle is a small opening at the tip of integument. Chalazal end is the basal part of the ovule, and nucellus region is the mass of cells within the integument used to store food. Then there is embryo sac, which is the female gametophyte located in the nucellus region. Now this structure is depicting the entire microsporangium. Here you can see stigma part, style part, ovary, and inside ovary there is ovule. This ovule is highlighted, and here you can see funicle, the part by which ovule is attached to the placenta. Then this spore is the micropyle, this opening. Then chalazal end and nucellus region are their protective layer integuments, and embryo sac is protected over here. Now megasporogenesis, पोलन ग्रेन की फॉर्मेशन हुई थी माइक्रोस्पोरोजेनेसिस से और फीमेल गेमेटोफाइट की by the megasporogenesis. Now what is megasporogenesis? Formation of megaspores is known as megasporogenesis. Megaspores are formed inside megasporangium, and ovules will differentiate to form megaspore mother cells. These megaspore mother cells undergo meiosis and result in formation of 4 haploid megaspores. Here you can see in the diagram micropylar end पर nucellus region और megaspore mother cells दिखा रखे हैं. These undergo division forming dyad means 2 cells, then forming tetrad means 4 cells are formed, and out of these 4 cells only one will remain functional. One of these megaspores develop into the female gametophyte and other will degenerate. Only one megaspore remain functional and develop into female gametophyte. The formation of embryo sac from a single megaspore is known as monosporic development. अब इन 4 में से ये जो टेट्राड बना था मेगास्पोर टेट्राड, इन 4 में से सिर्फ एक फंक्शनल रहेगा, बाकी 3 डीजनरेट हो जाएंगे. यूजली बेसल 1 रिमेन फंक्शनल. और ये जो डेवलपमेंट है जो 4 में से एक ही रह गया मेगास्पोर, वो डेवलप हो रहा है. तो देयरफॉर दिस इज द मोनोस्पोरिक डेवलपमेंट. और यहाँ पर वो सारे स्टेप्स दिखा रखे हैं हाउ दैट सिंगल सेल जो कि एक फंक्शनल सेल रह जाता है उससे फिर कैसे फीमेल गेमेटोफाइट बनते हैं. न्यूक्लियस undergo mitotic division. This diagram is depicting the process of formation of embryo sac. Nucleus undergo mitotic division. 2 nucleate embryo sac is formed. जो एक फंक्शनल रह गया था 4 में से उसमें माइटोसिस हुई और कितने सेल बन गए? 2. These undergo division now. These will form 4 cells. These will undergo division, form 8 cell stage. Now these 8 nucleus, these are not cells, these are nucleus. These 8 nucleate embryo sac is formed. The 3 nuclei will shift to the micropylar end and 3 will shift to the chalazal end. The 3 towards the chalazal end will form the antipodal cell. 3 toward the micropylar end, the central one will form the egg cell, and the surrounding the central cell are the synergids. And in the center 2 nucleus will be found, and these are found in a cell known as central cell. Now cell wall formation will take place surrounding these 8 nuclei. Embryo sac will be formed. The nuclei formed inside get rearranged to form final structure of embryo sac, as in this diagram. और final structure next slide में भी आप देखेंगे. This is the final structure. Here you can see मेगास्पोर मदर सेल में मियोसिस हुई थी बेटा. 4 सेल बने, 4 में से एक फंक्शनल रहा, 3 डीजनरेट हो गए. जो एक फंक्शनल रहा मेगास्पोर उसमें माइटोसिस हुई, 2 न्यूक्लियस, 4 न्यूक्लियस, 8 न्यूक्लियाई. 8 न्यूक्लियाई, 4 न्यूक्लियाई, 8 न्यूक्लियाई, 8 न्यूक्लियाई जो हैं उनमें अब सेल वॉल फॉर्मेशन हो रही है और उन्होंने अपने आप को रीअरेंज किया. The 3 towards the chalazal end will form the antipodals, 3 towards the micropylar end will form the egg apparatus, और इस egg apparatus में central cell will be the egg cell and the 2 surrounding cells will be known as synergids having filiform apparatus and 2 nuclei in the center having a common central cell. Now mature embryo sac is 7-celled 8-nucleate structure. Why it is known so? Because यहाँ आप देख सकते हैं 3 एंटीपोडल सेल हैं, 1 2 3. Here एग अपरेटस में भी 3 सेल हैं, एग सेल एंड 2 सिनर्जिड, तो टोटल हो गए 6. पर सेंट्रल सेल जो है वो है 7. तो टोटल 7 सेल हो गए, पर न्यूक्लियाई 8 कैसे हैं? तीनों एंटीपोडल्स का अपना अपना न्यूक्लियाई है, नीचे एग अपरेटस में भी तीनों का अपना अपना न्यूक्लियाई है, पर सेंट्रल सेल में 2 पोलर न्यूक्लियाई हैं. तो टोटल न्यूक्लियाई आर 8 पर सेल्स आर 7. तो मैच्योर एम्ब्रियो सैक इज 7-celled but 8-nucleate structure. Here it is written egg apparatus containing 2 synergids and 1 egg cell located at the micropylar end. Antipodals having 3 cells at the basal end of the ovule located at the chalazal end. Central cell having 2 polar nuclei fused together in the central cell. Now next step in pre-fertilization event. अभी तक जो हमने अभी pre-fertilization event में पढ़ा है, that is gametogenesis, that how male gametes and female gametes are formed, how female gametophyte is formed, how that pollen grain is formed. अब next step है that is pollination, transfer of pollen grains. Now pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma, and this transfer occurs because of the help of certain pollinating agents like wind, water, insects, birds, etc. Mainly pollination is categorized into 2 types, that is self-pollination and cross-pollination. Now here in this, the types of pollination. Pollination is mainly categorized into self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther of one flower to the stigma of the same flower. एंड इन +2 क्लास ये चीज़ें आप 7 तक पढ़ चुके हैं, 7th 8th इवन 10th में भी आपने पढ़ी होगी, सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन एंड क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन. पर अब थोड़ी सी +2 में इसकी डिटेल आ जाती है. द टर्म यूज्ड इज ऑटोगैमी, गेटिनोगैमी एंड जीनोगैमी. नाउ व्हाट आर दीज टर्म्स? ऑटोगैमी इज द ट्रांसफर ऑफ पोलन फ्रॉम द एंथर टू द स्टिग्मा ऑफ द सेम फ्लावर, whereas getinogamy is the transfer of the pollen from the anther to the stigma of different flower of same plant, and xenogamy is the transfer of pollen grain from the anther to the stigma of different flower of different plant. ये ध्यान से समझिएगा, ऑटोगैमी में एक ही फूल है, बाइसेक्सुअल फ्लावर है, उसी के पोलन निकले, उसी के स्टिग्मा पर आकर लाई कर गए. गेटिनोगैमी में एक प्लांट है पर उसमें फीमेल फ्लावर्स अलग लगे हुए हैं, मेल फ्लावर्स अलग. अब मेल फ्लावर्स के पोलन रिलीज हुए और फीमेल फ्लावर के स्टिग्मा के ऊपर लाई किए, तो प्लांट सेम है पर फूल डिफरेंट है. और जीनोगैमी में फूल भी डिफरेंट है और प्लांट भी डिफरेंट है, तो क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन हो रही है, विच इज़ नोन एज जीनोगैमी. नाउ द जीनोगैमी और क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन is caused by abiotic factors or the biotic factors. Abiotic factors involve wind and water, और अगर pollination wind से होती है that is known as anemophily, water से होती है तो that is known as hydrophily. Biotic factors में है living beings like insects, bats, snails and birds. अगर insect pollination में help करते हैं then it is known as entomophily. Bats करते हैं तो chiropterophily, अगर स्नेल्स करते हैं तो मलैकोफिली, और बर्ड्स करते हैं तो ऑर्निथोफिली. नाउ ऑटोगैमी. व्हाट इज ऑटोगैमी? इट इज ट्रांसफर ऑफ पोलन ग्रेन फ्रॉम एंथर टू द स्टिग्मा ऑफ सेम फ्लावर एंड यूजुअली सीन इन प्लांट्स विच हैव केस्मोगेमस and clistogamous flowers. What are these Chesmogamous and Clistogamous flowers. Chesmogamous flowers having exposed anther and stigma, and they are the open flowers. Clistogamous flowers are those flowers who are closed flowers, जिनके एंथर और जिनका मेल और फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव पार्ट, वी कैन से एंथर और स्टिग्मा एक्सपोज नहीं है, ये फूल बंद रहेंगे जब तक कि पॉलिनेशन नहीं होती. और ये ऑटोगैमी यूजुअली बाइसेक्सुअल फ्लावर्स में हो रही है. एंथर एंड स्टिग्मा और क्या फीचर्स होते हैं उन प्लांट्स के जिनमें ऑटोगैमी होती है? दे हैव एंथर एंड स्टिग्मा वेरी क्लोज टू ईच अदर, एंड द एग्जाम्पल ऑफ प्लांट्स विच शो ऑटोगैमी आर वोइला एंड पोलीगाला. और आप इसमें बाइसेक्सुअल फ्लावर्स जितने भी हैं वो भी लिख सकते हैं, बट आपको ये चेक करना है कि कहीं वहाँ कोई एजेंसी हेल्प तो नहीं कर रही है ऑटोगैमी में और सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन में. Now next is getinogamy. Getinogamy is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of another flower of the same plant, and it is functionally cross pollination but genetically self pollination. क्योंकि प्लांट सेम है तो therefore genes भी almost similar होंगे. Then xenogamy is a transfer of pollen grain from the anther to the stigma of different flower, and these are genetically as well as functionally different. क्योंकि यहाँ पर प्लांट भी अलग है और फ्लावर भी अलग, तो these will be different. यहाँ वर्ड लिखा नहीं हो बेटे. these will be genetically as well as functionally different. Now next is the difference between getinogamy and autogamy, getinogamy and xenogamy. This is in the tabular form: autogamy, getinogamy and xenogamy. Autogamy is the fertilization of a flower by pollen from the same flower, whereas getinogamy is the fertilization of a flower by pollen from another flower but of same plant. Xenogamy is the fertilization of a flower by the pollen of the flower from a different plant. Getinogamy में plant same है, flower अलग है. Xenogamy में plant अलग है, flower अलग है. Then autogamy is the self-pollination. Getinogamy is functionally cross-pollination, and xenogamy is a cross-pollination. Here it is written self-pollination. It is a cross-pollination method. Then next is autogamy produces genetically identical offspring. Getinogamy produces genetically identical offspring, but here you have to do cross-pollination. Okay, but xenogamy produces offspring with the genetic variations. Then autogamy, flowers can shed pollen grains directly onto stigma just during pollination or before opening of the flower, but several flowers, in case of getinogamy, several flowers are located on the same stems, therefore pollination takes place. And whereas in xenogamy, there are phenomena like hercogamy, dichogamy, self-incompatibility, male sterility, heterostyly are adaptation used. ये अडेप्टेशंस क्या होती हैं कि पोलन ग्रेन एंथर जल्दी मैच्योर हो जाते हैं एज़ कम्पेयर टू स्टिग्मा, या फिर जिसे हम प्रोटेंडरी कहते हैं, या फिर बेटे स्टिग्मा पहले मैच्योर हो जाता है एंथर बाद में तो उसे प्रोटोगाइनी कहते हैं, या फिर जो स्टिग्मा है दैट इज़ नॉट कंपैटिबल फॉर द पोलन ग्रेन्स, तो उसे अपने ही पोलन ग्रेन्स के लिए कंपैटिबिलिटी नहीं है तो उसे सेल्फ इनकम्पैटिबिलिटी कहते हैं. Now next is pollination can occur even without assistance of external pollinating agency, whereas in getinogamy it can maintain parental characters of the race indefinitely, whereas xenogamy produces genetically modified offspring with different characters to the offsprings. Next, autogamy, genetic variations of offspring are avoided. In getinogamy, excess force should be generated in order to be pollinated by external pollinating agents. And in xenogamy, efficiency of the seed production depends on the external pollinating agents. Examples of autogamy are sunflower, orchids, then orchids, and then peas and triodex. Whereas Gatienogamy, corn is the most common example of it, and Xenogamy, it includes squash, onions, then broccoli, spinach and grasses. Now pollinating agents, the agents which help in pollination process are known as pollinating agents. These carry the pollen from anther to the stigma of the same plant or to the different plant, and these are mainly of categorized into two categories, that is biotic agents or the abiotic agents. Biotic agents are the living organisms which act as agents of pollination, and abiotic agents are non-living objects, for example wind and water, and biotic examples are insects and birds. Now here the type of pollination is again expressed, the self-pollination and cross-pollination, and biotic and abiotic factors are mainly explained, that is wind pollination, water pollination are the abiotic factors, whereas pollination by insects, bats, snails and birds are representing the biotic factors of pollination. Now details of these pollination, that is pollination by wind, also known as anemophily. Pollen grains are carried by wind from the anther to the stigma. Wind pollination is very commonly seen in grasses, and the characteristic features of the plant showing wind pollination are having light pollen grains, non-sticky pollen grains, well exposed stamens, large and feathery stigma to receive the pollens. Now next is pollination by water, that is known as hydrophily, seen in Vallisneria and Bryophytes also. The water acts as medium for the gamete transfer in lower plants, for example Bryophytes. Female flower reach the water surface by stalk where male gametes were already released, for example in Vallisneria. Male gametes are released inside water, whereas female flowers remain, example seagrass. And in water pollination, pollen grains are prevented from being wet due to the presence of mucilaginous covering. Here in this diagram, Vallisneria plant is shown to you, showing hydrophily. Now next is pollination by insects. Pollination by insects is known as entomophily. Bees and insects, they act as biotic pollinating agents. Not only insects, even animals act as pollinating agents like rats, lizards or bats. Plants are specially adapted based on their pollinating agencies or pollinators. Some of the factors which attract the insects are attractive color of the flower, their fragrance, their nectar, and in some cases insect and plants exhibit mutual relationship. For example, yucca moth relationship is a mutual one. That's all for today. Let's recapitulate that what we have done. We have done flower structure, which consists of sepals, petals, carpel and stamen. Out of these four, carpel and stamen are the reproductive part, carpel is the female reproductive part, stamen is the male reproductive part. Then we have done how the sexual reproduction takes place in plants. The sexual reproduction in plants is categorized into three categories, that is pre-fertilization events, fertilization events and post-fertilization events. We have done pre-fertilization events mainly in this video. Pre-fertilization events involve gametogenesis and pollination. We have done gametogenesis, that is microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis. By microsporogenesis, pollen grains are formed inside the bilobed diathecous anther and in the microsporangium. These microspores are formed from microspore mother cells. One microspore mother cell will form 4 microspores and the fourth one remain functional. And later on these will convert into pollen grain, and these pollen grain having one vegetative cell and one generative cell. The structure of pollen grain contains outer layer known as exine, inner layer intine. Exine made up of sporopollenin and it is a hard layer, and intine made up of cellulose and pectin, and this exile layer is not present on certain areas, and that area is known as germ pore, from where the pollen tube will germinate. Now next we have done megasporogenesis, which is the formation of female gametophyte or the megaspore inside the megasporangium. In this process, firstly the megaspore will divide meiotically to form 4 megaspores, and these 4 megaspores are formed from megaspore mother cells, and out of these 4, 1 will remain functional, 3 will degenerate. The one which will remain functional will undergo mitosis to form 2 nuclei, 4 nuclei, then again divide to form 8 nuclei. These 8 nuclei will develop cell wall and get rearranged. Towards the chelazal end, we will get 3 antipodals. Towards the micropylar end, there will be egg apparatus consisting of egg cell and synergids. And in the central cell, we will get 2 polar nuclei. As the gametes will be formed, then the pollination or the transfer of pollen from the anther to stigma will take place. It is divided into self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination involves autogamy, getinogamy, whereas cross-pollination is known as xenogamy or allogamy. In autogamy, there is transfer of pollen from the anther to the stigma of same flower, whereas in getinogamy, transfer of pollen from anther to the stigma of different flower of same plant, and in xenogamy, transfer of pollen from anther to the stigma of different flower of different plant. Then we have done pollinating agencies, which involve biotic and abiotic agencies. Biotic agencies involve pollination by insects, we have mainly covered in this video, that is known as entomophily. Then abiotic factors involve water and wind. Wind pollination is known as anemophily and water pollination is known as hydrophily. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.